Hi guys, it's Diana. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to teach you how to make these adorable, I know I say adorable all the time, these adorable tiny little roses, and they're actually pens. Okay, you're going to need very few supplies. You could get it at your local craft store. You're going to need some foam in whichever color you decide you want your roses, green for the calyx, the green for the stem, and you're going to need some, I've got these at the Dollar Tree. This was for Halloween. I figured I have a whole bunch of these pens just laying around, so why not just, decorate them and give them out. And these make perfect gifts for Mother's Day. Look how adorable they are. They're super tiny. And then what you can do, I'm going to have a tutorial on making these mini wallet photo albums. I'll show you what they look like inside. And here you put photos. You could put another photo or a note. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to have a tutorial for these coming up next. But they come packaged like this, and you could just put a little rose. And there you go. You could give it to your grandmother, your mama, your neighbor, your child's teacher. Just, endless possibilities. I thought it was a cute little project to share with you guys. So let's get started. Okay, see, and I got this foam here, a big pack at Michael's. It brings 40 pieces. So I'm going to actually use pink. So I'll take out a sheet of pink. Okay, so I'm going to use pink, and here I have a cookie cutter. I believe this cookie cutter is 2 inches. So I'm going to be using this cookie cutter to make my circles. We're going to need 5 circles. So what you're going to do with this is you're going to press down and just make the imprint of the circle. Okay, so like I said, you're going to cut out 5 circles, and then you're basically just going to follow along with your scissor. You're going to need a glue gun, and I think that's about it when it comes to supplies. So it's something very, very simple, very basic supplies. Okay, so that's my first one, but of course I have them cut here. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of glue here, and we're going to glue them one on top of the other this way. Okay, so that's what we're going to do right now. You're going to see how easy and simple this is. Okay, so here, so what I want to do here is I'm only putting glue. We're going to cut this in half. So this is going to be my half. You don't have to score the line, but that's your halfway point. So you want to put some glue on those. You don't want to put it all the way to the edge, because then you're going to have like my red rose where it has a lot of extra glue everywhere. Okay. And then my last one. You don't have to worry if they're not aligned perfectly. None of that is really important. The rose is going to come out beautiful anyways. And if you didn't cut your circle out perfectly, you can always go back with your scissor and trim it off. You can't have little strands of glue everywhere, as you know it happens with the glue gun. Okay, so here we are. We glued those together. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing here. So this is my halfway mark going this way. I'm cutting these in half. So now what we want to do is we're going to start rolling them. So I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do before I even do the entire thing. We have to put glue, but we're basically going to roll this all the way to the end. Okay, you see how quick the rose formed? And the beauty is that with one circle, you get 2 roses. Okay, so now, like I said, let's put some glue. And you're going to make sure that you know your halfway point. Again, since we're cutting this in half. And what we're going to do is the exact same thing that we did before. Well, first, let's put a little tiny bit of glue here. And get this as close as possible. So we're going to hold this here for a second or so, so that attaches there. Okay, and we're going to start the turn. And now I'm going to put some glue here. Okay, and continue there. So only in the center. if that would be your center point, let's say right here, right? That's your center point. You're going to put glue above and below that center point because we're actually going to cut it right there. So you want to make sure that both roses are glued. And since the glue spreads on the foam, you don't have to put so much. Okay, there we are. I'm just going to hold it just a little bit. Oh, how beautiful is that? And now I know the one thing I forgot to put in my studio today was my X-Acto knife. I cut these with the X-Acto knife, but just in case you don't have an X-Acto knife, you can use the scissor. It's going to take a little longer. I did my first one with a scissor, so I'm going to do it now with a scissor as well. Just want to make sure everything is glued. Okay. And again, I mean, if you want to be perfect, you take your ruler out, you measure. I don't have those issues here. So let me take here. And now what I'm going to do is, I think that's about even. Okay. And we're going to just cut. Of course, with an X-Acto knife, it's so much easier. But look, not hard at all. So if you don't have an X-Acto knife, don't worry about it. You can do it. And here, look how beautiful that little rose looks already. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the calyx. So I'm going to move these to the side here. What you're going to need is a piece of green. And you need to have, this is my calyx. I actually did this myself. I'm going to put this on my blog once I have a chance. And I'll put a picture so that way you could just download it and copy it. But if not, basically you're going to draw out a star. And that's it. Okay. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to put it here. And you're either going to take a toothpick, or in this case, I'm taking my needle. Okay, and you're going to trace it. So hold on to it and trace it onto your foam. And then what you're going to do is you're going to cut right on the trace marks. So now, depending on how many roses you plan on doing, you want to get this all done in advance. Cut out all your circles. See, there you go. Something else that's super simple. So you cut out your circles, cut out all your stars. Okay, and then you just do a whole bunch in one sitting. And now see here, don't worry that that's not perfect, because there's no flower out there that is perfect. It's not the same as the other. They're all individuals, just like people. We're all perfect exactly how we are. We don't need to change anything. So it's the same thing with your flowers that you're making. Okay, I'm almost done here. Okay. Okay, so it's very similar there. Okay, here, like I used to tell my students in cake decorating, you want to make sure you look at this and it has a head, 2 arms, and 2 legs, just like a person. Okay, so that's how we're going to place it before we place it on our flower. Now you want to make sure, see here, I can put a little bit of glue here since this is not completely attached. And hold it there to be attached, okay? And then if you want, you can start forming the roses, the petals, to take some shape by holding them down like this. But I'm going to show you another way. Usually when you heat foam, it becomes very malleable. So, but this is what I do. I don't even have to heat it. You just hold it for a little bit and that's it. It starts taking its shape. Okay. This one too, let me put a little bit of glue there. I'd rather put a little bit more glue at the end than make the mistake I made while I was rushing. Okay, here. And I have extra glue. I don't know if you see it, but here on the petals. It doesn't look bad, but yes, I would prefer it not to be there. Okay, so now back to the calyx. So what we're going to do here is I'm actually going to look for one of those petals that connects, and I'm going to put that to be where the head is, okay? So perfect, just like that. So we want to put a little bit of glue right in the center. Put it up this way. Okay, and then we're going to put a little bit of glue here on the sepal here, but we're not going to do it all the way to the edge. So you see I'm only doing a dot of glue, and then I'm going to stretch it and hold it in place. Okay, That's another thing. You can start putting this down. Okay, and you're going to do that with all of them, but right now I'm going to do one leg. It's so funny because I remember my cake decorating days and my students. It would be so confusing. I'm like, yes, you're going to do the head first, then you're going to do an arm, then you're going to do a leg. So that's exactly what we're doing here, okay? But I did the leg. It really doesn't matter which way you do it. I just want to make sure that I have enough room to play with them and move them around. Okay, so now I'm going to do this one here. Again, just a little dot. And always pull them up just a little bit. Okay, we're going to hold it there just so the glue sets a little bit. Same thing. And now move on to this last one here. Now tell me, I know you're looking at this and you're like, wow, that's so easy. It can't be so easy. It is. Super, super simple. Okay, so then we have this here. Okay, take off this little bit of glue there. Okay, so there you go. You have that rose there. Okay, so now let's move on to the pen. So I'm going to grab a pen here. Let me move my rose back. And it doesn't matter which pen you use. Like I said, this is a Halloween pen. You're not going to see that. So you see here, you don't see that at all. It's completely covered. Okay, so we're going to take the pen, we're going to take the cap off, and now you're going to use that green again. So now the green here, I'm going to say you're going to take about 1/4 of an inch. So right here off the end, okay? And yes, I don't measure, but you're just going to go all the way up. Because like I said, you really don't have to measure. Okay, so we're going to use that strip right there, about 1/4 of an inch. Don't worry if you cut it and it has like, this is thinner, this is thicker, that's fine. Okay, now we're going to cover the pen. And what we're going to do is we're going to cover up here. We don't have to cover the top very perfect because it's actually going to go inside the flower. So you want to hold that here. Okay, and let that glue. So you want to make sure that that's adhered before we start moving, because we're going to actually pull on this piece of foam. Okay, so there we are. So I'm going to put here a little bit of glue. Okay, and I'm just going to turn a little bit to the side, and then we're actually going to start where we go, and we're going to make sure that it meets here. Okay, so you just pull a little bit, and you could put a little tiny bit of glue at a time. Pull that it meets. I just burned myself. Be careful with hot glue, it's very hot. Okay, and just continue to pull. Okay, so you have no more. So this is where I burned myself. If you burn yourself, make sure that you let the glue set before you try to pull it off. Okay, just like I did there. I've had tons of burns, that's why it doesn't bother me, but you have to be very careful. Okay, here I'm going to put a little bit more, and just try to follow where that glue is so that you're not burning yourself all the time. Okay, there we are. And now right here to the bottom. Okay, we're not covering the bottom of the pen, we're only covering where the design is. So here we are, nice and close. Okay, okay, here we have a little bit of glue. Okay, okay, now we're ready to just put a dab of glue right here where it's going to end. Okay, take my scissors and I'm going to cut a little piece. And you just want to make sure that you take this and you pull. And you pull and you put it right there to close off. Okay, and there you go. You have your pen covered. So now what we're going to do, like I said, this wasn't important because we're going to actually put this inside the flower. So now what we're going to do is you're going to take your glue gun. You're going to take the metal part of your glue gun, and you're going to stick it right in the center of your rose, okay? Wherever you think the center is. Okay, you're going to leave it there a little while because like I said, when you heat it up, it's like magic. You could do so much with it. So just heat it up and leave it there for a little bit. You see the hole that I'm creating? Okay, so that's softening all that foam in there, and you're going to be able to actually stick that pen in there. Okay, if you want, you could actually squeeze and put a little dab of glue. I'm going to be honest, I have not been doing that, and none of these flowers came out. But again, just for security, it's best to put one little dab of glue in there. You're going to give it away to somebody. You want to make sure that it doesn't fall apart when they're using it. You're going to take now this pen and you're going to turn it and make sure that that part that was visible is now inside the flower. Okay? See how easy that was? And there you have a beautiful rose. Now in order to get this here to bend a little bit, you're going to take that same metal piece and you're going to put it here above, right on the edge. And then very carefully, you're just going to turn that down and hold it there for a few seconds while the foam is cooling off. And you see how beautifully it just takes its shape. You're going to see in the future I'm going to have more projects with foam, and we're actually going to warm up the foam in order to be able to shape it differently. But I just figured I'd give you a quick, easy project that you can do, and then you're going to love to work with foam. I didn't want to scare you in the very beginning. So see, that's what I do to all of them, and I get that nice little shape. Okay, and like I said, that is so super simple. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please like, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment below. All those little things help with my engagement, and it helps me get more viewers to my channel, and it gives me a lot of excitement and makes me want to make more videos for you guys. Okay, so again, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I would love to see your roses. Follow me on social media, same thing, My Magical Corner, and show me what roses you make. Okay, thank you so much. Take care. Bye.